Okay, in this video I'm going to show how to use the baseballr package along with the data table package in R to get play-by-play data from the MLB along with manager information. Here's a link to the baseballr package website, which is a great package, and it shows that you can do tons of cool stuff with this package. I'm just going to show how you can get play-by-play data along with manager information. So here's just a snippet of what the data might look like. You have game date, teams, and then you have play-by-play information, and then you have manager information. I noticed that it didn't come naturally in the baseballr package, and so I figured I'd make a video on how to do that. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to get team IDs using team names. Baseballr has a great lookup table called the teams lookup table, and that's going to give tons of information about the team, including the team name and the team ID. That's important because the team ID is going to be used to get the manager information, and the team name is used in the play-by-play data. So this is sort of a crosswalk between the two. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an empty list to get my play-by-play data, and then I'm going to populate that list with game-specific play-by-play information. And then I'm going to add on to each of those games the manager information. So my empty list is going to be game DT list. I'm going to loop over a date range, so I'm going to just go from the month of June in 2019. R has a built-in package called seek.date, and I can specify whether I want to go by days. So you can see I end up with this list of days, and I'm going to get all the games for each of those days. So that's the format that I'm going to take. Loop over each one of these individual dates, get all the games for that date, all the play-by-play information for that game, and then merge on manager information. You have to convert the game date to a date format in order to pass this to the baseballr package. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to make a nested for loop here that's going to go over each of the game IDs on a given date and then get the play-by-play data. So baseballr has this function, MLB game PKS. And you pass in a specific date, and then it's going to return the ID of the game. And then that ID, which I'm calling here X, is going to be passed into this baseballr function, get PBP data. Get PBP MLB. So once I pass in that game ID, that pulls out the game play-by-play data, convert that to a data table named DT, and then I'm going to populate my empty list, DT list, with that play-by-play information. So this is going to have all the play-by-play information for that game, and then this list, DT list, is going to have all the play-by-play information for that given day. So then when I bind it together into this new DT, I should have all the date play-by-play information. Next thing I'm going to do, as I said before, is I'm going to merge on team ID for both the home team and the away team using the set key and data table shortcuts for left joins. Then, using the home team and away team IDs, I'm going to loop over these home team IDs for each home team in my data, my play-by-play data. I'm going to get the manager information. Okay, so the way that I get manager information is like this. For a given home team, I'm going to use the MLB rosters function from baseballr. MLB rosters takes in a team ID, so just give it one team ID. In this case, it's going to be the home team. The season information, so it's going to be the year of the date that I'm interested in. And then the roster type. So here I'm interested in coach roster, which I'm going to use to extract the manager information. Also pass it a specific game date so that I can know the specific day, the day of the season on which this manager information is true. Limit just to managers. So this coach roster type has more than just the head manager. It also has first base, third base coach, hitting, pitching coaches. I just want the managers in this case. And the two things that I want about the manager are the full name and the ID. So I'm going to get those from this MLB rosters function and then add them into my play-by-play data. Do that for the home team and again for the away team. And then I'm done. My play-by-play data has manager information, and I'm going to start populating my game DT list. So let me start running that. And what you'll see is it starts on June 1st, 2019. We get the game IDs, and it's going to start looping over these game IDs here. And then after it gets each of the game IDs, then we're going to start getting the manager information. Okay, so now it's finished getting the game IDs, and now we're just getting manager information for the home team, and then we'll get manager information from the away team, and then it'll move on to the next game date. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stop it now that it's on the next game date, just so that we can look at this data. Okay, so first I have to bind all the game dates together. So I ended up only getting one partial information from June 2nd. So you can look at how many rows we have here. 5,000 rows, 164 columns. Most of those rows, in this case rows are plays or pitches or game information, come from June 1st. You can see how many home teams I have. Looks like 15 home teams, which is half of the teams in the MLB. So if you let this run long enough, then you'll get all 30 home teams. All 30 teams will play at home. And then I can also look and see which pitchers have the most rows. So in this case, Justin Verlander had a lot of plays June 1st, 2019. You can look at which players and which batters and pitchers had the most information on their matchup. So in this case, Sean Anderson and Stevie Wilkinson had the most plays and pitches on their matchup. Okay, so that's it. So now I can do start doing some cool stuff with this data table to see more information about this play-by-play data with manager information.